had just ended when development began, but it wasn't until the Soviets started designing the R-7 icbm that the project actually started gaining momentum. The Atlas A saw a rough start with all but 3 of its 8 launches ending in complete failure, but in September of 1959 the Atlas C was fielded. At the time, the Air Force saw ICBMs as a last resort, and with strategic bombers as the primary force, thus allowing for counterattack if attacked by the Soviets. Standing at over 75 feet tall and weighing around 260,000 pounds, this was certainly a powerful craft. The Atlas was the first US ICBM and was also the first large liquid-fueled rocket. It also helped prove that gimbaling engines were a valid concept. The most notable feature of the Atlas rocket was its 1.5 stage design. Most rockets would stage the whole booster and fuel, but the Atlas would just stage the outer engines. Sadly, this feature was dropped in later variants of a rocket. Early Atlas rockets were actually not designed for military uses, and on December of 1958, prototype communication satellites were launched aboard the SM-65B Atlas Skull. The Atlas D rocket was a workhorse of Project Mercury, and was the go-to craft for all things orbital. It began its workhorse status after it carried the first American to space, John H. Glenn. It also worked during the Gemini program, which I will be discussing next. The Agena upper stage was a hypergolic propellant-powered stage used for the Atlas rocket. It saw launches in the Ranger program providing images of the moon, as well as sending the first spacecraft to another planet with Mariner 2. But most well-known was the Agena target vehicle used for rendezvous in the Gemini program, which was also launched upon the Atlas Agena. The Atlas Centaur was designed to be expendable. It had a hydrogen-fueled Centaur upper stage. It was used in most of the Mars-bound missions in the Mariner program. Removing the iconic 1.5 stage design, the Atlas III used a Russian-built RD-180 engine, but retained the Centaur upper stage and the first stage's balloon tanks. Designed by Lockheed Martin, the Atlas V is the only Atlas rocket to still fly today. It was designed for the Evolved Expendable Launch Vehicle program, but was later given to the ULA, United Launch Association. The Atlas V uses the same engines as the Atlas III, and was known as its Common Core Booster, CCB, but ditched the balloon tanks for a more rigid design, allowing it to not need constant internal pressure. The Atlas V was unique as it could carry up to 5 Aerojet Rocketdyne strap-on solid rocket boosters. From a Cold War ICBM to a modern-day workhorse, the Atlas rocket paved the way for spaceflight. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope to make a follow-up video discussing more obscure variants of the Atlas rocket such as the Atlas Able and Atlas Vega, as well as other lesser-known variants. Also, thank you to Stardust for editing this video. Their channel will be linked down below, please go check them out.